Not my will, but yours be done.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is a long-awaited video. Sorry that it's been a while since I've posted a video. I believe since the beginning of February. It's February 27th right now that I'm recording this. I think I'll upload this the same day I record it. But this is the first, I guess it's not the episode, but it's the introduction to the new podcast I'll be starting called Holy Influence. So today I'll be describing what this podcast will be, what purpose it serves, my heart behind this podcast. Everything you will need to know about this podcast will be answered in this video today, but let's get into it. So this podcast is called Holy Influence. So holy meaning set apart, and influence being the people we make an impact on. Google tells me that the average person influences about 80,000 people in their lifetime. Imagine if every Christian used every opportunity they got with all 80,000 people to show them the gospel, to live a holy set apart life that points them to Christ. Now, obviously, that's extremely unrealistic. There's already so many people in the past that we haven't, pushed towards Christ. We've often even pushed away from Christ, that there's no way we can go back and right those wrongs in a lot of cases. But imagine in the future, when the older we get, we influence even more people. We have an even greater influence. Whereas when I start having kids someday, I'll be able to influence my kids. When I am in a workplace with 100 other employees, wherever you work for, it's in a corporate job, you're working for yourself, you're influencing people. Imagine as young men now, that we learn to live set-apart lives that influences other and pushes them towards Christ. So in this podcast, we're going to have people with influence in Christianity, whether that be pastors, apologists, artists, whoever, you name it, coming on this channel. I'll be interviewing them in podcast interview style questions so that I can learn. So I'm going to be asking questions that young men and young women, I'm not excluding y'all, that we want to know, that we want to grow in. So this podcast will be an opportunity for young men and women to grow. Now, what is my heart behind this podcast? So first and foremost, I want to honor the Lord with this podcast. I want to work hard at this podcast and honor him. I want to do all of this for his glory, not for my own sake. But next, what is kind of the intention, the purpose behind this podcast? So when starting my channel, I decided, you know what, I want to be like a Mike Winger. I want to be like a Gavin Ortland, a Preston Perry, some of the Christian content creators that I love, that teach and do incredible content. And I realized I am not them. I don't have the academic background they do. I don't have the experience they do. I don't have the wisdom they do. I don't have the wisdom they do. I don't have the knowledge they do. I am lacking in a lot of areas that they exceed at. I cannot make videos to their quality, not because of the expensive equipment or anything, but because I am not wise enough. I don't have the life experience that they have to make those videos. So as a young man, I need to be soaking that knowledge in. Instead of wanting to teach and wanting to be the main guy that everybody looks at, I need to be learning. I need to be soaking it up. So with my gifts now, with the connections I have with different areas of my life that I'm skilled at, why not use that to push people towards Christ in a way that I can, not in a way of trying to be someone else, but in a way that I can do it. So someday, maybe I could be like one of those guys. But right now, as a young man in the church, I am not. This kind of reminds me of Acts chapter 5, verses 5 and 10. Crazy story. Peter confronts a couple that lied to him about how much money they sold their house for, and they just fall dead on the spot. Each time they lie to him, the Spirit just kills them right there. And it says the young men came in, carried the bodies, and buried them. And I think physically, young men should be serving that way. We should be serving with our bodies, but also we don't need to be the ones like Peter who go and confront people, who go and heal people, who go and teach. We need to be the young men who are willing to be there alongside them and do the tasks that help them, that help others, not necessarily going out and teaching and being the main guy. That is something that I want to build my ministry around, like my life ministry, and that I want to do. I want to serve others in the way that God has given me right now, not in some way I'm not meant to do. So in these conversations, I want to represent particularly young men, not saying women can't get something out of this, but particularly young men, that's just who I am, who are yearning to live set-apart lives, who are yearning for righteousness, yearning to grow, wanting to live a life of influence, but an influence of not of myself, but for the Lord. So these conversations are going to be intense. They're going to be deep. They're going to be hard, but I'm really excited about them. But yeah, I just want to thank y'all for watching. The first real episode of the podcast will be coming shortly. The first episode, the guest will be Lil KV, Kendall, KV, whatever you call him. He's my friend who is behind most of the music in our 30-day Shred series. So it's going to be a really cool podcast. He's a fellow college student like me, but he has a really interesting perspective with his testimony, with his life in the Christian hip hop space. I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a fun episode. But y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. I pray and hope that you'll continue to watch, that I can continue to serve the Lord faithfully. So keep me in your prayers for that. There's also a few guests that are really exciting that I have the potential to interview. I'm not going to say any names yet because none of it's solid, but there is a chance with a few guys that I am so excited about. But thank y'all again for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. Please wait for the next video, and I'll see y'all then.
I was down bad, young and always in some trouble. Diamond in the rough, you know I got it out the rubble. God gave me so many gifts to learn how to juggle it. The struggle be humble and had to get it off the muscle.